Okay, everybody, glad to have you back. Can't wait to get into part 2 of this Mindset and Motivation Monday. Last week, even if you missed it, don't worry about that. But last Monday, we went through the first 5 ways to detoxify your mind. So it's not just about the body. Sometimes it's clearing out negative thoughts, negative programming that we don't want there. So today on part 2, we're actually going to go through numbers 6 through 10. So after today's show, head on over to stevencabral.com/3559. And if you missed last week's show, we'll link it up there besides all the big takeaways. Number 10, the last one, is my favorite. So stick around to the end. That is the one that I try to live by. It's made my life so much more peaceful, and I want to share that with you. All right, so number 6 is this, and basically how we're kicking off the show. You can't stop chasing perfection. This is one thing that will drive your mind and your life crazy. So the goal in life can never be perfection. I mean, believe me, when I was growing up, I had the worst case of perfectionism, obsessive compulsive, all sorts of issues. And it took me a little while to rewire that. But once I did, I was so much happier. I had to realize that perfectionism was holding me back from getting things done. And it's actually so much more important in life to simply get things done. They're not going to be perfect, but truthfully, it's so hard to be perfect in the first place. So done is better than perfect. And then done allows you to then replicate what you just did in other areas of your life, but also learn from what you just completed. So, for example, you're searching for the perfect diet plan. Pick one healthy diet plan. You're not going to be perfect following it. Implement it, learn from it, and then say, oh, okay, this seems to be where I have issues. It's Friday nights. It's after dinner around 8 o'clock. You'll start to see the patterns, but simply starting, not trying to be perfect, enables you to learn more about you. And that enables you to then be so much better in the future, not just for yourself, but for others in your life as well. So the true goal always has to be progress and completing things rather than being perfect. All right. Next up, number 7 is the mind. Our minds are always seeking more. Literally, that's why goal setting is a great thing. But truthfully, you complete a goal, the next one just pops up in your head. Like you're always going to want more. So since I learned that about my own life too, I've actually become, again, more at peace. I'm not rushing to get things done. Some things you need to get done on a timeline, but other things, they don't necessarily have to have a direct endpoint. Meaning, because you're always going to work towards, hopefully in your life, growth. Without a doubt, I've found that having a growth-based mindset has made me a much happier individual. Knowing that there is no end to exercise. There's no end to eating well. There's no end to improving your relationship. All you're trying to do is implement what you know how and get a little bit better every day, every week, every month. That's all we can do. So if we know that we're always going to seek more, sometimes it's not about adding more, but being grateful for what we have right now and understanding that in good time, I always say to myself, in good time, we'll be able to do that. In good time, we'll get to that next step because you might not be there yet. Focus on what you have right now, be grateful for it, work on it, check a few boxes off, get those things done, and then you can move on to the next. It'll be there. All right, number 8 is this. Most of us are always dealing with constant self-thought, or I should say self-doubt. So when we're experiencing this doubt, this fear, this disbelief that we can make our dreams and our goals a reality, what we need to do is step back a second and say, whose thought is this? Because our thoughts are not always all our own. And I learned this in Ayurvedic medicine, I learned it from Deepak Chopra, I learned it from the Vedic-based philosophies. There are a few of us inside of this mind of us, right? We've got these thoughts that come in, but they're not necessarily always our thoughts, right? We are the observer of the thoughts. That's who we need to be. So when we get thoughts in our head, we have to say, that doesn't serve me. That is not helpful. This is not something that I'm going to focus on. Instead, here's what I believe. Here's what I want to focus on. And I believe that through the right knowledge and wisdom and learning and education, coupled with the specific action plan and blueprint, I can achieve anything I set my mind to. That is the true rewiring that we all need to go through. It's simply knowledge plus execution equals your goal. The more and better and right knowledge you have, combined with more and better action, equals a goal that happens faster, right? So your goals will all come to fruition. It might take 5 years or it might take 5 months, depending on the ability to execute on the proper plan. If the plan is wrong, doesn't matter about the execution on it, right? Because you're executing on an improper plan. You're going to get negative results. If the plan is great, but you don't do anything about it, it's almost as if the plan didn't matter. It doesn't matter if the plan's great or not. You're not executing on it. So we need the right plan, personalized for you, with the right amount of effort, scheduled into your calendar, done daily. That is how you ultimately get to the destination where you want to be. All right, that was number 8. Number 9, 2 more to go, is we get stuck in this loop of trying to control everything. But I'll tell you this, control is something that we fixate on when we feel like we're out of control in the majority of the areas of our life. We don't feel at peace. We don't feel balanced. We don't feel calm. So we're literally scratching at everything to try to gain some semblance of control. When in reality, in the grand scheme of things, what we can control is only what we think in our own mind, and we can execute with our own hands, right? Like that's literally it. That's what we can control. We can't control all the outside events. So our job is not to control the uncontrollable. It's to only control what we can control, what's within our sphere of influence. And then we have to learn to release the rest. I cannot dictate if the weather is going to be great when I go away on vacation, right? I need to release that. I can't control that. I don't need to check the weather every single minute before I leave for the trip. The weather will be what it will be. Maybe I just need to pack a raincoat. That's all I can control. Or like that's what I can control, right? If it's raining, bring an umbrella or a raincoat and you're good to go. And so what I'm sharing with you is this, is that yes, of course, there are bigger things in life to worry about, but some of those are out of our control. And if we worry about them and worry about all those events that may happen, what are we doing? Creating more anxiety, creating more fear. And all of those things just stress us to a greater level, create more inflammation, and honestly, they steal our peace. So be grateful for what we do have, work towards what we don't have, release what we can't control. The last one is this. I said it was my favorite, saving the best for last. How do we reduce overwhelm in our life, right? That anxiety, that overwhelm. Oftentimes, we have too many things happening all at once, sometimes goes back to our goals. And I did this myself, and I was guilty of it for many years, especially in my 20s. I had a massive to-do list. I wanted to do it all. And what I got done was almost nothing, literally. It would have been better, and this is my recommendation for you, to create a goal list of 1 or 2 things per quarter and maybe a to-do list of 10 things for that month or quarter. Meaning that if we focus on trying to build the best business that we can build, maybe as a health coach or practitioner, at the same time trying to achieve our ultimate body transformation, at the same time trying to lower our biological rate of aging, at the same time finding that, significant other that you've never been able to meet, and at the same time deepening your spirituality to levels you've never hit before. Wow, that is really difficult to do, right? Really difficult to do well. And then you might have subset goals in every single one of those. In body transformation, I want to get down to, let's just say you want to get down to single-digit body fat. And at the same time, you also want to do a sprint triathlon. And you want to get your personal best in your deadlift. It's like, that's way too much, right? Way too much. How do you focus on all that? That's what I was trying to do in my 20s, right? Like those are all the things, again, all those aren't anecdotes from my life, but at the same time, you can kind of understand it's like, that's a lot going on. And so what can we do? Well, what we need to do is focus on things that are really important in the next 90 days. Now, they might be things that lead to even bigger goals in the future, but what do we need here in the next 90 days? And then we need to create systems to avoid the decision fatigue of what do I need to do every day in order to make these things happen? Well, like once we dial in, okay, let's just say that you want to, I always use this example, but it's like, okay, you want to become a certified whatever. Like if there is a certification for that, you're simply going to put towards 30 minutes every day to your education. Almost everybody can do that. Almost no one can't. We're going to take 30 minutes away from social media, 30 minutes away from whatever it might be, or 30 minutes while you're doing something else like cardio or on the bike, right? So you're going to put that towards it. If your goal is you want to lose 30 pounds, well, it's just like every day, this is my exercise time for 30 minutes. And every day, this is your meal prep for the day in the morning. So you just dial that in. Now, there's no decision fatigue. And then you say, okay, well, I got to figure out what I'm going to eat every day. No, you don't. You're going to basically say, I'm going to eat pretty much the same breakfast and pretty much the same lunch, which is literally what I do to this day. And I don't get special because I'm working during the day. At night, then that's when the meals are going to vary to a greater degree. And so all you want to do is just say, I have the same morning routine. I've got the same work hours. I've got the same everything. And that dramatically reduces decision fatigue. There's a reason why I wear the same shirt. Now I get multiple of the same shirt every single day. For a decade, more than a decade, I wore a white shirt to my office every single day. Just the pants changed, but the pants just rotated. That's it. Like I just had them in a line and I picked a pair of pants that literally was the next one in line. And then I put on a white shirt. Why? No decision fatigue. I don't want to worry about my shirt goes with the pants, goes with whatever. No, literally white shirt, pants, good to go. That's it. Today, now what do? I just wear a polo instead of a white shirt. It's a black polo. Every once in a while, it's a navy blue. That's it. No worry. When I come to work, I go to work. I'm not there as a fashion statement, right? So it's like, that's just like what I do. And so even like with the blue blockers, like, okay, when I start a podcast or I'm on video, I just put these on. It's like no decision fatigue. In the future, I might just not wear them at all. But I gave myself, essentially, I was said to myself, as I want 6 months to really work on my eyesight from staring at a screen and lights and all those things while I've been writing my last book and doing research and videos and all those things. So eventually I'll stop wearing them. But again, no decision fatigue. Set just one goal, maybe two, a 1A and a 1B, and maybe 2 areas of your life. And you just set that in stone and you just work on it. And then you try to remove as many of the variables as possible. At this time, I do this. At this time, I do. It seems kind of robotic, and I get that. But it actually matters, like how big is your why? How strong is your why? Because if it's strong and you really want to achieve something and you're passionate about it, then the best thing you can do is just automate it. Like just go about it. Like, because you're not going, if it's a big goal, you're not going to achieve that goal in a week. You're just not. So if you need to think about the new thing that you need to do every single day, there's no way you're gonna have the motivation or inspiration to make it happen. There's just not every day is inspirational, right? So what do we need to do? Well, we're gonna set a goal, and if it's gonna take a 90-day quarter, or maybe 2 of those, maybe it's gonna take 6 months, then I'm just dialing it in. Okay, 4:30 to 5:30 every day is your workout time. 7:30 to 8 o'clock is your meal prep time for your breakfast and your lunch. Like that's just part of your day. It's just who you are now, right? It's not your whole day. It's a small amount of your day, but it's now dialed in. Try to remove as many of the daily decisions as you can from your life so that you're just more relaxed, that you're just more at peace. So now, even though I try to get a lot done during the day, honestly, it's already set up for me. I've got my calendar. I've got these things that are typically multiplying or recurring things that happen in my schedule. And I just do that. Whether it's for my personal health or whether it's breaking for lunch or whether it's my exercise, whatever, it's right in my schedule. There it is. And then, okay, I've got family time at night. Amazing. So all of that is in there. And then it allows you to be like, no, I don't need to figure out what's going on. I can just look at my schedule. Hopefully this was helpful. It's one of my favorite ways to create more mental space and just be more relaxed. I don't need to keep everything in my head. It's right there on my planner, on my calendar. Hopefully these overall 10 tips to detoxify your mind have been helpful. If you missed last Monday, we'll link that up just at stephencabral.com/3559. And of course, if the show is helpful, do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care, everybody.